You're listening to the S Club Beat with Dale and Katey.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the S Club Beat. I am your oh so beautiful host, Katey.
And I'm the oh so spiritual one, Dale.
Yes, you are. And today, what are we discussing?
I think we're discussing an album, Katey, but I'm not sure which one. Are we doing best?
No, we are doing 7.
So there's two different areas of this album. So there's the UK release with them laying on the beach, and then there's the US release with them on the monkey bars. So just to start off the episode, Katey, which album cover do you love better?
The UK one.
Why, Katey? Why?
No, it's so colorful and like it's a sunset and it's pretty.
No, I love the.
Isn't the UK now? It's 7 as in SEVEN, and the US is 7 the number, isn't it?
No, they're both just 7. Yeah. No, it's a number.
I swore for some reason that the UK was written 7.
Nope. It says S Club 7. It says S Club 7 in like a blue, and then 7 in a darker blue right next to it. So it says 7 twice. The number 7.
See, I don't know why. Like, that's always been in my head that for some reason they were named different.
Katey, this is going to make an amazing.
Like maybe the website back in the day had it like listed like that or something.
Well, I know technically it is correct because from numbers 1 through 10, you're supposed to spell them out. So that is grammatically correct. So, like, if you're ever writing, you have to write out the number from 1 through 10. Like, once you get to 11, that's when you start spelling.
Okay.
So, grammatically, it is correct. But I prefer the US version because I like the consistency with the playground. Like, from the 7 album with the monkey bars to the natural single with the merry-go-round. I love the continuity with that. I prefer the US release to this. And apparently, they also
didn't have a reach. They could have been on, the slides.
Yeah, like they have a slide picture, and like I always wondered what they planned for. We'll get into the third single later. All right, so to start off, the album was released on June 12th of 2000. Katey, do you know how many days after my birthday that is?
6 days.
6 days, Katey. You did great.
No.
Great job. No, it is 6 days.
Okay.
It is. I was born on June 6th. It was released on November 14th, 2000 in the United States, Katey. What were you doing on November 14th of 2000?
Oh, I was 8th grade. So, I don't know what I was doing in 8th grade.
I don't know either.
Well,
so it was re-released in the UK on No, it was re-released in the UK on December 4th of 2000. So the US release and the UK release were a month apart. I don't really understand that because why, Katey? Why? Because it was then
the US releases are messed up.
Well, the funny thing, it was re-released on the US a month later. So there's only a 2-month gap between the US re-releases, but there's a 6-month gap between the UK ones. So they released 7 in the US. Do you have both versions of the US, Katey?
I do.
You do?
One is technically my sister's, but I stole it from her like a long time ago. I claimed it and she ain't getting it back.
That seems fair. Poor tabs.
Yes.
So, Katey, would you be surprised to know that we'll get into the charts a little bit later, but this is their only number 1 UK album? Does that surprise you?
Yes.
It's weird, isn't it? Because I kind of assumed it would be...
when we rank the albums.
Yeah.
This is not my top album, so...
I would assume, like, Sunshine wasn't number 1. Like, why did this album specifically? Because by the time we got it, the only single we had was Reach.
Right.
So it doesn't make sense in my head.
Well, especially since the Sunshine album has Don't Stop Moving. Like, that was a hit. Like...
It also has Never Had Dreams Come True.
Yeah. So how was that not number one?
I have no idea. Katey, did you know that the UK version has 2 covers on it.
Is it the emblems different colors? Is that what it is?
No, I meant like 2 different cover songs.
Oh, it's 2 different colors.
So Stand By You and Spiritual Love are both covers.
Right.
And they only
We
appear...
talked about that because they couldn't get the rights to release them at first. Is that what that was?
So it was released in the UK as a whole album, and by the time it got to America, they excluded those 2 songs, and we got 2 in a Million in its place. And it is because they likely, it's not confirmed, like they didn't come out and say, oh, we didn't put these songs on the album because, you know, copyright issues, but it's the most likely scenario. So, but we did get Spiritual Love as the Never Had a Dream Come True B-side. So I guess at some point they did clear the rights for it. So for anyone who doesn't know, Stand By You was originally recorded by Soap, and Spiritual Love was originally recorded by Urban Species. And something that I love about Spiritual Love, and we'll get to when we start ranking the songs, is they incorporate the S Club name into the song, because Bradley goes S Club in the house, and that just, like, for it being a cover song, they made it their own. And I kind of love that.
Right.
So, Katey, did you know that Bring the House Down was slated to be the...
room in your brain left after all these dudes?
No, I don't.
Like, how?
Like, I have no room for anything else. But also, it's important to note, Katey, as we discussed on our Instagram this week, I am sometimes wrong. And it's not on purpose.
Yes.
It's not on purpose. It's just because I have so much knowledge in my brain that it kind of all just gets flustered and I forget. So I just completely forgot about Say Goodbye, and because in the what episode was it, Katey, that just aired? 2 in a Million. So the 2 in a Million episode just aired.
Sure.
And in it, I said that this is the first of 2 music videos where they're just hanging around the house. But it's actually 4 music videos where they just hang around the house, because they did Have You Ever and These Are the Days. Say Goodbye, Have You Ever and These Are the Days.
Would you count you as well?
Someone messaged me saying that you as well, but no, because they actually go outside of the house and into the garden and then like the random garage. So I wouldn't really consider you in the same context as I would 2 in a Million, Have You Ever, Say Goodbye, and These Are the Days. Did you know that Bring the House Down was supposed to be the 3rd single, Katey?
I can believe that. Because it was very much on every tour. Like,
yeah, so it was slated to be the 3rd single. They did release promos for it. And on the US spine, it says, Raise the Roof and Get on the Floor, which is a line from Bring the House Down. So I do believe that it was intended to be a 3rd single in both the UK and the US. Because why else would they put that on the spine, Katey?
I have no clue.
How do you feel about it being on the spine? Like, do you love it secretly?
I didn't even realize. Like, I may have realized it back in the day, but I mean, I haven't actually looked at my album, like, in detail lately to remember it's on the spine.
Okay, so everyone please take a moment and judge Katey for me. So we're going to take a moment of silence and judge Katey. So everyone just look at her while she looks back and tries to find the album and then realizes that I was correct. Because turn it on its side. No, okay. Okay, so just turn it on its... So turn it on its side and look inside. It says Raise the Roof and Get on the Floor, does it not? Yeah. So
yeah,
for everyone else, I'll have Zach put a little snippet of it here. But yeah, I thought that was really cute.
The little pictures
the UK,
on the side right there.
Yeah. Are those the UK pictures or the US pictures? Those are the US pictures.
And everything US pictures.
Yeah, so we'll talk about...
I do not have my UK album. I'm behind on that, but that is coming eventually.
For shame. I have at least 12 copies of the 7 album. At least 12. I don't know why I have so many. I will not part with any of my variations of them. Are you ready to get into the tracks, Katey? Like, are we ready to rate these tracks?
We are.
Okay, Katie. So, like last time, we're going to skip.
Porky come back for that one.
You did it. So, like we did last time, we're going to skip the singles on the album. So, we're going to exclude Reach and Natural and Never Had a Dream Come True. If y'all would like to know our opinions on those songs, go back to those episodes. If you would like to know our opinions on Never Had a Dream Come True.
Hasn't aired yet.
Yeah, if you would like to know about our Never Had a Dream Come True episode, you'll have to stay tuned for a couple episodes because we have a couple more episodes coming out before that due to the timeline. So we're trying to keep everything in consecutive order. It's not working as well as I would like for it to, but we're doing our best, Katie. So the first song we're going to go over is I'll Keep Waiting, Katie.
I want to hear Simon's version, Simon Ellis.
Yes, so as
was that Miami? We talked about that little. No, what did we talk? Natural.
We talked about it on
some previous. Yeah.
On a previous episode, we discussed I'll Keep Waiting and how Simon Ellis did tell us that it was intended to be a single, but the producers ruined it. Simon Ellis's words, not mine. But I am going to go ahead and say, Katie, this song is very forgetful for me. I could not recite the lyrics to you in this particular moment. I could not recite them back to you.
See, I like them. And I prefer the LA 7 version to the album version too.
Well, Katie, so when we get to ranking this song, mine's going to be very low. I don't have any fun facts for this song because I don't remember it. This song's getting like a 2 for me, Katie. 2 out of 10 for Dale.
7 for me.
I don't love I'll Keep Waiting. I don't remember it. Like, I'll keep waiting. I could recite the lyrics to you. So I'm not a big fan, but it's just not memorable for me. It's not memorable.
I do.
Do you have any other comments on I'll Keep Waiting other than it was in Misguided and that's your favorite episode?
No, that's it.
And that it was supposed to be a single?
Yep.
Moving on to the next block that we have, Katie. Bring the house down. I can't say that. Bring the house down, Katie.
You're going to get a little beep in front of your mouth there.
Bring the House Down. What was intended to be the third single from the album before it was re-released for Never Had a Dream Come True. How do you rate the song, Katie?
Originally, when it came out, I would have rated it lower. Mm-hmm. But seeing it on tour, I prefer the tour version to the album version.
What would you rate Bring the House Down, Katie?
8.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Wait.
I'm giving it a 9 out of 10.
How are we... I'm rating it based on the album?
Or based on the song in general. The song in general. Like, how do we feel about the song in general?
An 8.
Okay, I'm giving it a 9 because it's superior. It's a great song. And I would like a world where it was a single.
Yeah.
So, the next song, Katie, it's another forgettable one for me. Best Friend.
Yeah.
So I do know that this is a Bradley co-write, so no disrespect to Bradley if you're listening. We love your writing abilities. But this isn't it. This just isn't it. It's very like Reach in my head because the album is a very grown-up album, and Best Friend just seems very childish.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
I don't find it childish. It's just... I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
going to have... a lot during Go Wild. I know that.
I haven't seen Go Wild. I haven't seen Go Wild in 20-some-odd years, Katie, so I'm going to have to take your word for that. And I've also never seen all of the episodes of Go Wild. So, there's that. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to take a moment to,
shame Dale for not watching all of them.
Whatever you said to me earlier. Shame
Dale. For that one. Bad Dale. So, Best Friend, Katie, what are you rating it? What are you rating it?
The 3.
3. I'm going to have to go with you there, Katie. Best Friend just isn't it. I don't think it fits on the album. I think it would have been better off as one of those songs we never got, Katie. Sorry, Bradley. So we'll move on to the best song on the album, Katie. All in Love is Fair. This is one of their most grown-up songs, I feel. And Is it me or her? I want to know, you know? Is it me or her? Is it me or you? Like, who is it? Who's it going to be?
Who's it going to be? What you going to do? Are you over me? Because I'm not over you.
Exactly, Katey. I have all of those questions for each one of my former lovers. Like, I understand it's been 10 years, but is it you or me? You know? I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I haven't came up with a song for my exes, but it definitely is not that one. Like,
nah. But All in Love is Fair, it is one of my favorite songs that they have. Like, it's a very strong song in their discography. And like I said, I think it would, in an alternate world, I know we talked a lot about how the last album we wouldn't redo any of the singles, but on this album, I would. And we can talk about that before we get to the charts. I think it would have made a really good single. Like, we could have done All in Love is Fair and then Natural, and then Never Had a Dream Come True, so let's Bring the House Down. I don't know. No. No? Do you have a different order?
I'm ranking this one low. I'm not. Yeah.
Katey, is it just because I rank it high?
No, it's just, I don't know.
I'm taking this personally.
It's just a little too.
Okay, so for me, it's an 8 out of 10. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, Katey. What are you giving it? What low number are you giving it, Katey? A 4. At least it's better than Best Friend.
Yeah.
That's so sad. So you don't love it?
It just, I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me.
Oh, it's so sad to hear it. So it's not your fault, Katey. I'll mourn the loss later. And is it me or you? We don't know we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. So the next song, Katey, it's Love Train. And I know that we mourned Paul's loss on this podcast and in the S Club community, but Love Train isn't it. Love Train is not it in my book. I'm going to
disagree with you on that one. I'm going to disagree again. Like, I love Love Train. Like, you cannot not, like, love it. Like, I compare it to, like, Spice Girls' Stop. Like, it's one of those songs when it plays in the car, you cannot not dance to it.
I disagree. I don't even think it's on my playlist to come up to be able to be played. You know? Like, it's a good song. Like, I like the music video and, like, them in the pool and the bubbles in the pool. And, like, it's a good performance song in LA7. But as an overall S Club song, like, I'm ranking this on, like, overall. Like, their whole discography. These songs are going to be at the bottom for me. So, I'm going to give Love Train a 2 out of 10.
Worse than Best Friends?
Okay, what did I give Best Friend? A 3?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it a 3.5. Because it's not as bad as Best Friend, but it's not it. And Paul's vocals are very strong on it. Like, I don't want anyone to come at me in the comments about this song. But I think it's a very childish song on a very mature album. Because 7 is a more mature album in my head than their debut. And even
Reach,
Sunshine.
So, I mean,
I hated Reach too.
Bouncy ones.
And I don't love Reach. So maybe that's my problem with this album is like it's not cohesive. Like,
right.
We'll talk about the other albums.
Stuff, but then they wanted to get some R&B in there too.
So what are you going to rank it?
I'm going to give it a 7 as well.
That's fair. But I think my 3.5 is more fair. All right. Yeah. So the next track is Cross My Heart and Tell No Lies, Katey. How do you feel about this one?
No one's leaving you behind?
No one's leaving. Well, a lot of people have left me behind, Katey. But we don't have to talk about Dale's love life on here. We have to talk about that. But
it is just like a representation of your relationships or what?
Pretty much. Like either they're really high highs or really low lows. But in the same vein as All in Love is Fair, I think All in Love is Fair / Cross My Heart would have been a good double A side single. I think it's in the same. I like the more R&B stuff that we got on this album than the pop stuff. So normally I'm a pop girly, Katey. Like on the last album and the next album, I go more towards. And that's something that's so diverse about S Club is because S Club did a very poppy debut album. Their second album is a mixture of the two. The third album is a mixture of the two. And then by the time we get to the fourth album, it's all just R&B. Yeah. So I love Cross My Heart in the same vein as All in Love is Fair. So I'm going to rate it an 8 out of 10, Katey.
I'm giving it a 5. I like it better than All in Love is Fair, but...
That's fair. It's very fair
I'm
for
just
you.
giving it a
I
5.
I think that we just have... So that's what I love about this podcast, is that you and I come at the fandom from two different perspectives.
Yeah.
Like,
I loved more the pop, and then you loved more the R&B.
8 out of 10. You gave it, what, a 5?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The next track, Katey, it's a low for me. It's a very low for me. The Color of Blue.
Right. See,
So,
I think that song, the only time, I mean, I may be wrong, but the only time we ever hear it in the S Club history is in the background at Buddy's Burger Bar in LA7 in one scene. That's the only time I've heard that song anywhere.
that's
You got,
probably
like,
correct,
zero
Katey.
play.
And it's because it's a terrible song, Katey. It's a terrible song. I have a couple of problems with it. So, of course, it was released in America on our 7 album, and they did not fix the spelling when they released it here on our track listings. So, for all of you who do not know, in England, color is spelled C-O-L-O-U-R, and in America, it's C-O-L-O-R. So, I don't... Yeah. I mean, I get it, but it's not grammatically correct over here, you know? So, like, it had to come up on someone's spell check, and they just ignored it. Or maybe that has to be the spelling of it they use for the copyrights.
I should have just left my album out here.
That's how it's spelled on our copy, on our version. They spell it like that. I mean, I do too, but it's not correct. It's not correct for the United States.
Correct.
I am.
Well, they're not a United States band, so...
But this is a United States release on a United States record label. So, Color of Blue, 1 out of 10 for me, Katey. Yes, I dislike it more than Best Friend. It is a terrible song. The lyrics do not make sense. The Color of Blue reminds me of you. Like, is it a sad song or is it a happy song, Katey? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It doesn't make sense.
Well, you couldn't tell into a million either, so I mean...
Well, that's neither here nor there, Katey. But I've always wondered how it can be done to pick the one who's going to be my lover for my life, my baby, to hold me through the night. Brighter than the sky in July, my baby. Cooler than everyone I've known. The Color of Blue reminds me of you. In my heart, I only feel blue. Like, when people think of blue, they think of sad, Katey.
Right.
So when I look at someone, I don't see blue making me sad. I don't get that. The color, it doesn't make sense.
Toxic relationship song.
Maybe. And then they've never seen gray, green, black. He's true. In the rainbow, I can see colors of misbelief. There's only one for me, and it will forever be. So yeah, I just don't. 1 out of 10.
But
I stand by my decision.
Like a dog. I mean, that's a long time doing it.
1 out of 10, Katey. Where are you ranking it?
No. I said 5.
Did you? I didn't hear you. So she's ranking it 5 out of 10.
Yeah, you just weren't listening to me. You're ignoring me.
Wouldn't be the first or last time. Okay, Katey. So the next song is I'll Be There. And it is a Chino-led song. And
Which I always forget.
You always forget. I mean,
it's totally a different vibe than Stronger and Discotheque.
But so is Secret Love. And it's still a Tina song.
That's the other one. I knew there were, I'm like, I thought this was free. Sorry.
Yeah, it's Secret Love, but we can get to that on the Seeing Double album. I think it's a very cutesy song, as I forgot earlier with I'll Keep Waiting, because I'll Keep on both song titles. It's a lot, S Club. It's a lot to keep up with. And it's also funny because Jo O'Meara has her own version of I'll Be There on her With Love album. It's a completely different song with the same title.
Right.
Just for fun. Just wanted to throw that out there. But it's a very forgettable song for me.
Rachel has I Will Be There.
She does. She does.
Yeah.
I'll Be There, S Club 7's version from the 7 album. It's forgettable for me, but I'm going to give it a 5. Because I do remember them like in the woods and in the car and being all cutesy. So
I'm giving it a 6.
So we're kind of close on that one. I mean, it's not as R&B as I would...
R&B ones. Yeah.
So it's not as R&B as I would like. It's still a very pop song, but it's not as bad as The Color of Blue. And I think it's nice that they gave Tina some vocals. Go Tina, you know?
I don't really feel like The Color of Blue is R&B, though.
No, it's more of a pop song, but it's still terrible.
Yeah.
It's a terrible song. Terrible.
Tell us how you really feel.
I hate it. It's the worst S Club song ever. No, that's Reach. So I'll Be There. So the next song we're going to go into, Katey, is Spiritual Love. And we talked about this a little bit earlier. It is a cover of an Urban Species song. Have you ever listened to the original?
Not lately, but I think a long time ago I did.
Yeah, so the S Club version, and they're very similar, except the S Club version has some ad-libs like we talked about earlier, S Club and the House. So I like how they made it their own. So I'm going to rate this a 7 out of 10.
Joe kills the back end of that one. Like how that girl has those lungs.
Oh my God. Thinking about that.
Towards the end, she holds that one note for, I swear, like so long. Like, breathe, girl.
I've lost my voice recreating or attempting to recreate that. So remembering that note now that you've brought it up, I'm bumping it up to an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I could never. So 8 out of 10 for me on this.
7 as well.
Well, I gave it an 8. So
7's my good. Like, it's not an average song, but it's not like the awesome song. So it's like 7's like my.
Like I said,
I'll listen again.
It's a safe number, especially for the band that we're talking about. Like, I don't think anyone would be offended if you gave something a 7.
It's a good number.
And the last song, well, we have 2 more songs to talk about. But we have Stand By You, Katey. And I have a lot of problems with this song. Should I start with my ranking of it and then explain my issues for the song? Because I don't want to go into it. So I'm going to give this also an 8 out of 10.
Rank it, and then you'll probably change it after we discuss it.
No. So I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 as well. Like, I love the song. It's a very good song. I do not love how Hannah and Tina sing it in the show, and then Joe sings it on the album. Do not love that. All right. So the last song. Oh, you didn't rate it. Rank it. What are you ranking it? I stand by my 8 out of 10.
I hate to say 7 again, but I'm like, that's
where it fits in your heart, Katey. You can't be wrong.
Okay.
It can't be wrong if that's what you have in your heart. The next song, Katey. Lately.
Mm-hmm.
So we've already finished the original track listing from the original release in June of 2000/November of 2000. So that is the full album. It stops with Stand By You. And that's it. As we previously discussed, it was re-released in December/January to feature 2 additional songs. We can also talk about the US version, because like we said, Spiritual Love and Stand By You were kicked off, and 200 Million was put in its place. We're not going to talk about 200 Million. Y'all can go look at our 200 Million episode. It's a good song. Didn't fit the album, but I understand why they did it, because it's in prom. So I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But the next song, or the only song from the re-release that we're going to talk about in this episode is Lately, Katey. This is the Stevie Wonder cover that was also featured on Motown Mania, Katey. Do you have the Motown Mania soundtrack?
I do not, but I have the performance.
Fake fan. But yes, it was. I'm not a video collector like you. Like, videos come and go. I'd rather have the physical CDs. But I do own the Motown Mania CD. I've never listened to it. I can't tell you what other songs are on it. I only own it because S Club name is on it. Katey. But lately, it's a Stevie Wonder cover. It's led by Bradley and his luscious vocals. And unfortunately, Katey, this song does not do it for me, and I'm giving it a 0 out of 10.
Whoa.
I think it's a useless cover in my eyes. I think it's a fake add-on it's a last-minute... Like, I'm blaming the record label at this point, because they could have literally picked any other song, but they picked a song that was not recorded for the album, and then everyone's like, the previously unreleased lately. No, it was previously released. It was on the Motown Mania soundtrack, and you're all just trying to make it seem like it's new. So this was me going off on a tangent at the record label. No, it wasn't.
Like, what is Motown Mania US? Okay.
No. It was not. So, all I'm saying, Katey, is that I think it's a cheap thing to add this on as a bonus track when they're trying to shove a re-released version of 7 down our throats. I said what I said.
So do you like it more or less than Dancing Queen? I don't remember what you ranked Dancing Queen on the first episode.
I love them pretty equally, so I would hope that I gave it a 0 out of 10 also. Okay. If I don't, I would like to go back and revise, because I didn't know that I could give 0s out of 10.
Nope.
Before we get into the charts, Katey, we're going to talk about covers from the album, and I did send these to you last night, Katey. Did you listen to all of them?
Yes,
or did you skip the obvious ones? You can be honest.
Well, I mean, I skipped the Reach one because we've already discussed it.
Okay. Did you skip the other American Junior one?
No, but I can't tell you that I listened to it all the way through.
Did you cringe a little bit when watching it? Anyway,
a little bit.
So the first ones we're going to talk about. So I know we talked about the American Juniors one in the Reach episode. We also missed these other 2 covers of Reach. So one of them is by Harriet. It was released in 2017, and I listened to it, but I can't tell you anything about it. Katey, can you tell us about the cover?
Is that the slow one?
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
It was boring, wasn't that? I was bored, if I recall correctly.
I mean, I like the melody that started playing, so I'm like, ooh, this would be a good ballad. But then the way she sang each verse was pretty much the same, I don't know, beats as, I guess, the original. So it just didn't fit.
It didn't flow like
it
should
have. Paul sang, it reminded me of like Paul's Acoustic in 2015, but Paul at least kind of spread the lyrics out.
Yeah.
Like,
it is word for word.
Slower. She kind of seemed at the same pace. So
yeah, so she was
really low singing.
I didn't love it, Katey. I forgot about it already. I just listened to it yesterday and completely forgot. I couldn't even tell you the next cover of a band called Out of the Blue. I found these covers. I listened to them and sent them to you. I can't tell you anything about this one either. But wasn't this one comparable to the S Club version?
Yeah, I did like this one. It had, a lot of beat to it.
So this one was by the band Out of the Blue. It was released in 2018.
Kind of reminded me like a doo-wop type thing. But yeah, I preferred this one.
Oh, I remember it now. Yeah, I think I did like this one compared to the original, because as we've discussed multiple times throughout this podcast, I don't love Reach. I don't love it at all. And that could just be because my disdain for the fact that Nashville wasn't the lead worldwide, because I think that could have changed the world.
You're just mad because Rachel didn't have a solo in Reach. Just tell me now.
Sure. Also, it's just a terrible song. Like, I'm not going to justify this anymore, Katey. There's actually a third cover from Justin Fletcher that was released in 2013. Do you remember this one, Katey? I don't remember it either.
Not a fan of this one. It makes it seem even more like a kid's song.
So I think this one was for a kid's show, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Or a kid's soundtrack.
Yeah, and it sounds that way. Yeah.
So it's worse than the
like she had other songs. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not gonna endorse this version. We will endorse the Out of the Blue version because it's a fun new way to listen to the song. I like when people reinterpret the songs like we previously discussed with all the Korean bands. From the...
Were they Korean? What did Catherine say?
I'm pretty sure she said they were Korean. We said they were Japanese.
I know she corrected you.
I think we said it was Japanese and she said it was Korean. We could still be wrong. I don't know. I don't speak those languages. Y'all can't fault me. The next song, Katey. The next song, Bring the House Down, covered by the American Juniors.
Well, two of them.
Katey, I'm going to be completely honest with you, Katey, and I really wish this era did not exist. Because if we weren't already offended enough at the S Club Juniors existing, we now have to worry about American ripoff of the Juniors also covering these same songs.
Right.
So
you already get enough in the US like that pop music is kind of looked down on. So you kind of don't want to tell people you're S Club fans. So if they were familiar with American Juniors, it's like, oh, that's what you listen to?
Yeah.
Like, no,
so
it's not comparable.
Like, growing up, I would not tell anyone I was an S Club fan. Like, I was a closeted S Club fan with a fan site. Like, I just need y'all to know. Like, think in your head, like, how, like...
friend that made fun of me for it. Like,
yeah.
That's how...
So, I don't... And now I'll tell everyone, like, I'm an S Club fan. I've met them. I've interviewed them. Like, I've sat down with them. Like, what have you done? Do you know anyone famous? I know people that are famous. Do you know it?
I went to Europe 5, 6 times. I don't know. I've lost count now. But you know.
I've been to Europe. Like I've been to Europe X amount of times. And have you even left the country? Have you left the state? Like, did you go to Chicago to see them? Like... So, I don't think...
Right.
And Rachel Stevens, I don't know if you know her, but Rachel Stevens said that she didn't want pop to be looked down as, like, a dirty word anymore. She said it, like, in 2003, like, leading up to Some Girls and all that stuff. And pop, during this time, it was a very weird time to be a pop fan, because this is when R&B was starting to take over. But...
Right.
I don't love the American Juniors. I don't love the S Club Juniors. I don't love anything about this. The music video that they did for the American Juniors version of Bring the House Down was so bad.
It's weird.
Like I feel like they took the S Club 8 Sundown video and then just brought it over here because they were released around the same time in 2004. So I think they just recycled a bunch of S Club stuff, and I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate everything about it.
Right.
This gets a negative 10 out of 10 for me, Katey.
Yeah.
A negative 10 out of 10. The next cover, Katey, and I'm going to butcher the name. I'm going to butcher it. I'm just going to preface everyone, I do not know how to say this, but I'm not even going to say it. I'm just going to put it on the screen, Katey. But this lady, she covered, do you want to try it? Do you want to try saying the name?
Which one is it?
I'll put it in the chat because I know we haven't used the chat this whole time. Oh, studio chat. So it's Katey Gornak is what they said. Katey. No, it's Katey Gornak. Anyway, she covered Cross My Heart, Katey. I think, if I remember correctly, there were slightly altered lyrics on this. Slightly altered. It was just like a word or two that were changed.
The one we liked on Reach, they did have a altered lyric too.
What was the altered lyric? I didn't listen to it all the way through, Katey. I already hate the song. I wasn't going to listen to it. Because wasn't that like mixed with something else too? Like it was a 7-minute song?
It wasn't that long. It was with, what's the song? Another.
It was by the Beatles, wasn't it?
Works in the road. Time of your, I hope you have the time of your life. I can't.
It was by Billy Joel Armstrong. Anyway, so it was like a 5-minute version. but I'll have to
Yeah.
listen to it and get the actual altered lyrics. But this one has slightly altered lyrics, and other than that, it's pretty similar to the S Club version.
Yeah.
Except S Club's version is S Club's version is of course superior. Not gonna downplay it, Katey. S Club is always superior. But yeah, she did that. All right.
She was fine.
So, Katey, next we're going to get into the charts. Are you ready for the charts? I know you love talking about the charts.
The year-end charts?
No, Katey. First, we're going to talk about the weekly charts, and then we'll get into the year-end. So, I put them in order this time. I'm very proud of myself for putting them in order, because I just be bouncing around normally. So,
Right.
This chart encompasses charts for 2000 and 2001, because when an album is re-released, it still goes under the original album chart, so it does not get a new entry. So it incorporates both the original and re-release, and it is between 2000 and 2001. So in the UK, of course, Katey, it charted at number 1, and we love that. We have questions why it's the only S Club number 1 album. We do have questions about that. It was number 2 in Scotland, and it was number 10 in Ireland, Katey, and that rounds out the countries where it peaked in the top 10. And I think that's just kind of sad.
Yeah.
Like, it just goes down from here. And it also does not have as many entries as their debut album had. So I guess they finally got their footing into what countries deserved S Club albums. It peaked at number 15 in Canada, so our North American buddies up there got it in at number 15, Katey. So kudos to Canada. We'd love to hear it.
I know, like, what the heck? Compared to US, like...
Good job, Courtney.
Thanks for the representation of the...
What it
North
deserved.
America.
It deserved better than 15, if we're honest, but we'll take that.
Better than ours.
It also peaked at number 15 in New Zealand. Our friends in New Zealand, Katey.
Yeah. We love
And
them
then-
right now.
We do, right
We
now.
love them all the time. We just give them a hard time.
We do. It's so easy. Switzerland got at number 27. Sweden got to 42. Belgium got to 49. And from here, we leave the top 50, Katey. Do you want to know what the next country is, Katey? And we need to get Mel back on here and have a word about this with her. Because it got to number 56 in Australia.
Well, that's the same as, like, Canada and US. Like, what the heck? Like, you're the same continent.
Yeah. Like, how is there such a... Well,
That's correct. I'm going to get in trouble on that one.
no, I mean, they are. They're right next to each other.
Okay.
So, and they're basically the
Yeah,
same. Like, we've discussed that. I am too, don't worry.
Yeah.
And then it got to number 69 in France and 69 in the United States, Katey. So the S Club album did its best over here, Katey. If the highest they could get is 69, I appreciate that. It's not good enough. But I accept it for what it is, Katey. I accept it. Because S Club were never going to be big here. We got a top 10 single, which we'll discuss 5 to 7 episodes from now. But we got a top 10 single, which is more than someone like Steps could say, you know? They can't say that.
Wow. You're in trouble.
But yeah, so next we're going to go into the year-end charts. Your favorite thing ever, Katey?
I don't know why, but, you know, it's a thing.
It's just a thing, and we know that you love it so much. So let me look back at the debut album and see if the album peaked in... So the year-end charts in 2000... So the S Club album in 2000 was the 51st best-selling album. So the one that Bring It All Back, S Club Party, and that's not bad because you have to realize that it was released in October. So from October of 1999 to December of 2000, it was the 51st best-selling album. All right, so they were the 17th best-selling album in the UK with 7. So they were the 51st and the the 17th, Katey. How do you feel about that?
The 51st and the... What?
So there were the 51st with S Club, and then the 17th with 7.
Right.
So...
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
You know, I don't know how I could have said that any differently, Katey.
Sorry.
No. The albums. So they were 51st with S Club, and then 17th with 7.
Okay.
In 2000.
That's a good improvement.
Yeah, so in comparison, in 1999, S Club was the 21st best-selling album of 1999. So this is a drastic improvement. And then our friends up north, Katey, they're once again repping it, and they were the 79th best-selling album in Canada in 2000. Isn't that fun, Katey?
Yeah, we
I
failed.
love that. We did. Well, it was only 2 months that we had it, so I don't know if we failed, Katey. I don't know if we failed. It's fine. And then leaking over into 2001, Katey, S Club were the 69th best-selling album in the UK with 7. So from, I think this is probably still left over, but from June of 2000 to December of 2001, they were the 69th best-selling album with 7. And let's see just preemptively where Sunshine ranks for this in the year end.
Don't spoil it.
Well, I mean, we spoil everything else. It's readily available. So it was the 17th. Sunshine was the 17th best-selling. So at least they're consistent. 2 years at number 17, back-to-back, Katey. Not bad. Not bad at all. And then, Katey, the U.S., S Club were the 190th best-selling album in the U.S. of 2001, which is not bad, considering the album was released in January, and, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all.
I think Never Had Dream Come True probably helped.
Definitely. And a lot of people on this album because of that song. So,
right.
I'm here for it. I listened to the 190th best-selling band of 2000. What did you do with your year? It was 2001.
Right.
But regardless.
Of course, we'll get into it more with the Never Had Dream Come True episode, but that's one that, on my phone, I'll skip, but by golly, if that plays on the radio, you ain't skipping.
I'm bopping.
I will go work to let that play. It's a different feeling. But yeah, we'll discuss that more.
I 100% agree. And then the last year-end chart that we have are, again, our friends up north, Katey, with 195. So the North Americans over here are representing in that 190th percentile. You know, not everyone has the 190th best-selling album of a year, Katey. So we've come to the end of our episode, Katey, and it's time for our personal rankings. And remember, we cannot change previous rankings to adjust for a newer taste. So I ranked the S Club album 4th out of 4th. And I am keeping it there.
3rd.
You ranked it 3rd. I am rating 7. I'm rating 7 2 out of 4. So I think that is the second best album from S Club 7. And I'm locking in my decision. Katey. And overall, I rank... let me rank it first and then we'll ask... Or do you want to do yours and then we'll rank it? Go ahead, Katey. What do you rank it out of?
Okay. Thank you. 4.
Hey! Is it because Natural is on here? You can't rank the whole album based on one song. Why do you rank it so low?
Like you said, it's like a mishmash of... It's trying to be R&B, it's trying to be pop. It's just... There's a lot of forgettable songs. I
can appreciate that, Katey, because I do feel like a lot of the songs are left over because, like we've previously discussed, Nobody Does It Better / what was it? I'll Be There.
Yeah.
From the Miami 7. I do feel a lot of the songs were left over and don't really fit. Like, we know Reach was also left over from the first album.
Right.
So I don't love it. But I'm ranking it second because the R&B songs such as Natural and All in Love is Fair and Cross My Heart, they rank really high for me, as we talked about throughout the episode. So I would say it is my second favorite S Club album. So that only leaves my first and third spot. Whereas you only have your top two. Yeah, yep. So I'm kind of interested to see the next couple of episodes. We don't talk about this in the middle, y'all, so I don't know where she's ranking these albums. But, because we want to keep it spicy when the episode airs or is filmed. So we don't know, but this is 2 out of 4 for me. It's 3 out of 4 for her. I'm going to rank this. I ranked the S Club album.
4 out of 4.
4 out of 4. I'm sorry, I'm looking at your old rankings from the S Club album on the list.
3 out of 4 was S Club.
The debut.
Yeah.
And then this was 4 out of 4. Overall, Katey, with the R&B features and all that, I'm giving the album an overall rating of a 5. Like, I know this is going to sound weird considering that I ranked it my second, but there are too many misplaced pop songs, like, overall. Right. But the R&B songs really do make it up for me in the middle. Like, and I am kind of confused as where Sunshine is going to place on my top 4. Like, I don't know if it's going to be my 1 or 3. It's going to be something that happens after that conversation that I decide. And then I'll just have to live with whatever I say.
We discuss it all first and then rank, because it does kind of change.
Yeah, so I don't know how Sunshine's going to fare. I think it's obviously going to have to fare better than... Because you and I have our... No, I still have a number 3 position. I think I know where Sunshine's going to go. But yeah, I give it a 5 out of 10 because there's too many pop songs that they're misplaced. They're very cheesy, very corny, but those R&B songs rank it higher than my number 3 album. So I'm pretty sure based off of how I rank this, y'all can probably figure out what my number 1 album and my number 3 album is. Like, just based off of how I've talked about it. So, I guess...
Well, if you know what my tattoos are, you can figure out my number 1 album.
Yeah. I think ours are going to be different, Katey. We're definitely going to have a much different ranking. Because I do know what your tattoos are of, so... And we've discussed your tattoos in previous episodes, so I'm pretty sure now all the visitors have to go back. We did. We talked about the one on your forearm.
That was in our...
The unreleased episode?
Our very first one. Yeah.
Yeah, the unreleased episode. Anyway, Katey, what do you rank it?
You did this one, though, but that's not a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler. So what do you rank this one?
One day get described if we could get a certain guest.
Fingers crossed, Katey. So yes, what do you rank it out of 10 overall?
I mean, I give it a 5 too, but it obviously matches my 4 out of 10. I mean, 4 out of 4 ranking. Yours was just...
Well, it split right down the middle for me. So, for Refresher, the S Club album, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. And Katey gave it a 7.5 out of 10. So, yours makes sense. Mine doesn't, because I ranked that 4th out of 4 for me. Like... My rankings, like, in my head...
Makes sense in the first place. Well, I mean...
In my head, it makes sense. Thank you so much for listening to S Club Beat. If you'd like to follow the podcast, you can follow us at the S Club Beat on all of the socials. You can also go to www.thesclubbeat.com to find all the amazing places you can listen to us. If you'd like to follow me, Dale, you can follow me at World of S Club. If you'd like to follow Katey, you can follow her at Katey_Carmen on all of the social media platforms. We would love to chat with you on Discord. You can go to www.join.sclub.org. It is completely free. We welcome everyone, and we'd love to hear from you. Also, be sure to rate us and leave some comments below on this post so we can hear from you and let us know how we can do better. Until next time, go stream some S Club music and have a great rest of your day.
You're listening to the S Club Beat with Dale and Katey.